You just screened. How did it go?
It was a fantastic screening. It was part of a spotlight screening with another short film that has received support from the Bentonville Film Festival, like mine has, as well as Coca-Cola sponsored filmmakers making content for the festival.
Okay, so you got support before doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was here in 2019 with a feature that I wrote called Olympia. It won the Audience Award that year, which was super exciting. And then I was invited to be a part of an inaugural fellowship through the film festival, and I was the inaugural recipient of a grant through that fellowship, which helped make the short film possible.
That's awesome. So they want to see you do well.
I'm sorry?
They want to see you do well.
They do. So Bentonville is one of the most supportive film festivals I've ever had the honor of attending. Film festivals are a lot of fun, and it's wonderful to meet other filmmakers and celebrate the work that we've all done. It's really different when a festival goes out of its way to enable future work of the filmmakers that they've invited.
That's awesome. My question about your film, because it is a short film, is first, is it going to be a feature? Because there's a lot in there.
You are absolutely right. It's not only going to be a feature, it already is a feature. This story has been with me for quite some time, and I was able to write the first drafts of the feature version before I even shot the short film, which is great because it helped me think about the world of the short film that much more broadly and that much more deeply. So it's been wonderful to create the short film and start to tell this story and make the proof of concept for the feature, which I've been fortunate enough to develop in some really great spaces. Gotten support from Sundance, from Bentonville, obviously, from Chicago International, and as we move through sharing the short film, hopefully that will be able to pave the pathway towards the feature, which is ready to go.
Where did you guys shoot it? Because I was trying to figure out where it was shot.
Yes, that was shot on the south side of Chicago.
Oh, okay. Because I knew it was, a big city, but I just wasn't sure. It was like,
yes,
New York, I don't know.
Yeah, no. Chicago, I'm not a native Chicagoan, but I've lived there since 2008, and it is very much home. I feel like it's the place that has made me the artist that I am. My experiences there and the things that I care about are really rooted in Chicago. And, I think it's most Chicagoans you talk to, it's our most annoying trait, but we love Chicago very much, and we are not afraid to tell you so. And it feels really special to shoot a story that takes place in a place that I love and care about so deeply.
Now, I know the lead actress, she was in This Is Us. Mm-hmm. Is she from Chicago as well?
No, Eris was born and raised in Los Angeles. But, it was her first time in Chicago when we shot the film, and she absolutely fell in love with it. And I felt like she fit right into the world that we were building.
Would you be trying to take her and the other person with you if you go ahead and make it a feature film?
Oh, absolutely. I adore both Eris Baker, who played Lauren, and Irion Roach, who played Keisha. I've known Irion for quite some time and have been, we're actually good friends, and I've been a fan of her as a person and as an actor for a really long time. And to see the chemistry that they were able to find together in the film was so special to witness. And it's really hard for me to imagine doing the feature with anyone else.
It's funny that you talk about the relationship they had with each other. I was going to ask you, do you have teenagers around you or something? Because you nailed the back and forth and the little, push-pull that they do.
Yes, I do have teenagers in my life, thankfully. I teach during the summer. I teach in a musical theater program, and it's all teens, and they're all bright-eyed and super talented and very funny and very raucous. And so, even though it's been a long time since I've been a teenager, I feel like I get this, I'm very much adjacent to that world and that culture, and I feel like they teach me every day, and it's been really cool to craft my understanding of that world within this film.
You did a brilliant job, because a lot of times when an adult does a film or a story about teenage, they don't get it.
Yeah, well, I also wanted to give Irion and Eris a lot of leeway, right? Like, I wrote the words on the page, and I wanted them to say the words on the page, but I also wanted wanted to step back a little bit. I wanted to step back enough for them to be able to make it their own, and to bring things to life that I can't, because I'm not a part of that world in the ways that they are. So I asked them, to really take it, and if there's something else that felt appropriate in the world of what we were shooting, that they had the ability to like bring that.
How long did it take for you to shoot the short?
We shot this short in 2 days,
Ooh.
which was a whirlwind. I think the original plan was to shoot 3 days, but I was really grateful for our line producer, Sarah Minnie, because as she was going through the budget, she said, I think we can shoot a great film in 2 days, and if we do that, we can pay our team more. And it's really important to me, and it's important to Sarah also, to make sure that everybody on our team felt really taken care of, right? The benefit for a film, especially a short film, the long-term benefit, I get that as a writer-director. The actors can, get that, producers. But for folks working below the line, this is their work. This is their day-to-day. And so it was really important to me that they feel supported and valued as much as we could with what we had available. And I think by taking care of the people helping to bring the world to life, we took care of the film. And so that meant shooting in 2 days and everybody showing up really hard and being on their game and giving it their all. It was great.
That's awesome. Yeah, you create people that want to work with you again, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. I really thought you did a good job on capturing the vulnerability that smart teenagers can be in when they're mentored by adults. You deal with something that people don't talk about. Mm-hmm. So what was your ultimate goal in this story?
Yeah, my goal in creating a real one was really to focus on the friendship between Lauren and Keisha. I think a lot about the world that we live in. I try to know what's going on and have, some pretty strong opinions about, what's happening in our society, what's happening politically. I think we've all kind of been witness to the unfolding of the Me Too movement, the unfolding of efforts towards greater racial justice in our country. And I think, sometimes it can be frustrating that those things happen pretty slowly, but, they are happening. One thing that frustrates me is that I think in both of those spaces, a lot of times Black women get left out of the conversation. But we have these experiences as well. And when I encounter these stories, especially ones that pertain to Black women, I keep asking myself, who's looking out for these girls? Like, where are the structures and systems in place that are supposed to protect them and help them succeed and thrive? And sometimes they're just not there. And so the answer to the question that I was asking myself is that the people looking out for Black women the most in this world are other Black women. We're the ones that we have to depend on to navigate some really difficult moments and situations in our life. So that's when I really started to conceive of Lauren and Keisha. I wanted these two young women who were kind of at the end of their adolescence, right? So still kind of that's still in them, but now they're moving into adulthood and having to navigate the complexities of the adult world, but don't always have the framework for them to do that in the most successful way. So they depend on one another. And of course they'll be flawed because they're kids, but the depth of love and care that they have for one another is a really, really powerful thing. And I wanted to see that on a screen.
Well, it comes across beautifully. So it was really good. Like I said, I was like, please tell me there's more, because there's so much packed into that short.
There's a much wider world. I know the subject matter of a real one is heavy, but again, it's the friendship. It's the beauty of their friendship that I want people to walk away really feeling. I think it's also really fun to write a movie about teens because they're hilarious, they're raucous, they will say and do things that I never. They keep me on my toes constantly, and these characters keep me on my toes, and it'll be really exciting to share the larger world that Lauren and Keisha inhabit when we're able to bring the feature version to life.
That's awesome. Thank you. Do you have any tips for any of the young female filmmakers out there that have a story and want to tell?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I would say, I actually said this earlier in my screening. I would say that trust the story that's inside of you. I had so much doubt. I would say to trust the story that's inside of you. I had so much doubt in my trajectory as a filmmaker, and it took a long time for me to really trust that what I had to say was not only interesting but powerful and needed by the people who see themselves reflected in those stories. So I'd say that the trust in that is the first part, and then finding your people, like finding your community, finding your collaborators who you will work with again and again and again, who get you, who share your ideas, and will help you bring them to life.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate for the interruption. We had some teenagers at the door, so
keep you on your toes.
There you go. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.